Hi guys, this is Jennie Walker. I am the creative director and owner of the Jennie Walker Archive. And I just finished my third eBay Live show, and I wanted to tell you what I've learned. There's a lot to learn. I have a little bit of experience selling live. I have sold on Poshmark. I have sold live on Whatnot. I have sold live. I did a lot of selling on a platform called House Codes, which has no longer in business. And this is my first time selling on eBay Live. And I wanted to, when I heard eBay was going into the live selling, I really wanted to sell on there because it's a platform I know and love and understand. I've been selling on eBay for decades under different account names. So a lot of time, the challenge with live selling is the listing itself, right? Is getting that listing up. So I liked the idea that I could pull in listings that are already created on eBay, directly into my show without having to, create them from scratch. And that was a very nice benefit. But they also, the people who train you in the orientation on eBay Live also show you how to create templates so that you don't have to have a listing that's, with, all these pictures in it and all set up to do a live. And I think it's basically a time-saving device, because if we had to have a complete listing for every time we went live, it's just, I think it would prevent a lot of people from even trying. But be that as it may, I've done both. I've had the full listings drawn into the show that I then present, on an auction. And then I have done the generic template where you tell all about the item while you're live. And it seems to work fine. There's no issues in that at all. And yeah, so what I've learned after my third time selling is that, okay, my best show was one where people I knew attended, meaning people who buy from me normally, people that are friends of mine, people want to support me, people want to help grow the channel. And because they were in the show, the energy was completely different. They were supportive and chatting, and there was a lot of, back and forth, and that was really helpful. And then they were buying from me, and then other people were buying. And when they're selling in a show, the show's more interesting. And when there's this interaction is more interesting. And I had really prepared. I did the email blast. I personally sent the link to all my friends. Like, here's the direct link to my show. Really need you to support. Really went all out for that. And it made a big difference. I had 8 sales that totaled over $1,000 in that show. The show went 4 hours. Normally it would be like a 2-hour show, but I went 4 because I was trying to hit certain metrics that had been set out for me as a new seller. And I needed a certain number of buyers at a certain price point cumulatively to hit a certain metric, which I did hit, right? So I'm very happy about that. But what I learned was that I did that show and I said, okay, let me just pop on the next night and just quickly just throw it up there, put it in my Instagram stories, put it in my TikTok stories, put it on there. But do not take the time to send that link to all these people who just supported me the night before. I was like, I can't do that. And then I didn't send out the email to my list. Well, as a result, no one came that I knew. So there you go. So there's the lesson. Plus, I did not take the time. I could have made the time. Let's be clear. I had the time. I spent the time doing something else, but I didn't make the time to change up my inventory like completely for the next show, because I'm like, oh, let me just pop on. It's the same, let's see if any new people come or whatever, and we'll just go, back to what we were selling before with a few new things. Well, that didn't work. I didn't sell anything in my third show. And in the third show, I got the kinks out. Like, I had trouble with my first show. It took me 45 minutes to go live, which I lost all the I lost all the benefits of being brand new on the site and going live for the first time. All those benefits were gone because people came and saw black screen. And I could not understand what was wrong, but we eventually fixed it. It took 45 minutes, so the momentum was gone. I had one sale that night for $25 on an unbranded chainmail necklace. That was very disappointing. So then the next show I said, okay, I'm going to really push really hard. I can't let the slow start stand in my way. So that's when I really went full force, and all that effort paid off. And that's when I had 8 sales, totaling over 1,000. Well, tonight, with minimal effort, I had no sales, totaling 0. So what's that tell you? It tells you that there's money to be made in eBay Live. It tells me that I can build my audience, but I've got to build it from scratch. I've got to build it with people I know, and then, branch out to other people. There were people in my show tonight who had been to my other shows, so it was very positive for me. I've got to spend some time on maybe a theme for my show, and it's not enough just to say I have vintage Moschino. I think it's very unique but very narrow. People like, well, do you have this brand? Do you have this brand? I mean, show me all your handbags kind of thing. So maybe I'll do a theme show where it's all handbags or all jewelry or all one brand, or it's like 3 solid brands that I know people like Louis Vuitton or Chanel, whatever. And really come up with a way to market and package what I'm doing differently to get more people interested into checking it out. Everyone isn't going to respond to you in the chat. I'm asking people to respond, but they don't necessarily respond. And some people will, chat with you just like one-liner, and then you go back to them, but then there's no response. But, it's, everyone's not comfortable being super chatty on an internet live stream. So it's very interesting. So my takeaway is there's a lot of promise in eBay Live. I look forward to continuing to, work on the platform and sell on the platform. But I think going forward is I'm going to really only do a show if I've put that full support into promoting the show, meaning emailing the direct link to my friends, emailing my email list, putting it further in advance on my social media, maybe even doing a YouTube live talking about it. Maybe I did an Instagram live too on the one that did really well. So all of that makes a difference. So I think it's a fantasy to think that you're going to go on an eBay Live and on the first day just have a whole bunch of people that are going to buy from you and follow you forever. No, I think that you've got to work and build that audience and put in that work. You have to put in that effort. You have to really promote your own show. And, I think that I'm very different than what is on there. Also, if you look at what's on eBay Live, there's a lot of people selling trading cards, and a lot of people selling coins, and a lot of people selling Pokemon, a lot of people selling handbags only. There are some people who have a mixed group of things, like Linda's Stuff is a great example of someone who has clothing, shoes, and accessories. I've noticed that some sellers have things that are damaged, and I don't want to do that. And it's really, really difficult place to be, because you want to, auctions, the point of the live selling is the auction. It's the point of the live selling is not to sell your full priced items, right? That is kind of the unwritten rules. So not saying you can't, you certainly can absolutely have buy it now things on there. But the format is meant for fast pace, movement, things like that. So I've noticed there are people who are selling things that are damaged, like really worn out shoes, or like handbags with giant stains on them, and like with real problems. And sure, I've got inventory that is bad like that, but I don't think I want to put that in my live selling show on eBay. I don't want to be known for that. I don't want to let it be the place for the armpit vintage that I have, right? I just don't want that for me. I have outlets to get rid of things that aren't pristine already, that are valid and working for me. There's many ways to skin a cat, as they say, many ways to sell inventory and get it out there. But I just don't want to do that on eBay Live. And you know, so I'm really torn about that. So I've got to find a sweet spot in figuring out what to sell and what price point, because the things that I've been selling or showing are things that I would normally sell at full price in a vintage pop-up. So, you know, trying to kind of find that, I guess in an ideal world, when I was on this platform called House Codes, everything was full price. This was a luxury platform. It was meant to be a full price selling. And so it wasn't even meant to be an auction. It was meant to be a full price selling platform, much like a Covet by Christos, right? That's on Instagram. So it wasn't trying to be an auction. It wasn't trying to do that at all. So I got used to that, and I had a lot of people buy from me who were paying a premium, meaning they were paying the same price I might get at a vintage pop-up. But eBay Live is not designed for that, meaning the customer hasn't been trained for that, right? And so the thinking that I have is, you know, I can go with the flow, or I can sort of go with the flow and try to build something that's very specific to me and my brand, so that when people come to me, they know that what they're going to get. You're going to know you're not going to get these dollar starts from the Jennie Walker archive, which don't really work unless you have a lot of people watching. I mean, they just don't. It's meant for people who have a lot of viewers and a lot of action, that you can get it up from $1 right to a higher price. And believe me, I'm a sucker for a dollar start if I see one. I don't normally even look at dollar auctions at all. Like, it's not even a thing that I look for. I have stumbled upon some things with low starts, and it just so happened I bought it pure impulse, right? But that's not it absolutely is not how I source my inventory at all. So I'm not drawn to that. But that is the audience. They've been trained to look for the lower priced auctions, to look for deals. And so I have to try to find an audience that's willing to pay a premium for what I have to sell. And I know they're out there because we had it on House Codes. So I know that audience exists. But you know, developing that audience is something else. So here's what we've learned. The next show will be fully advertised in advance. It will be completely curated so that you're not going to find the same things that you've already seen. I'm going to try to have a more broad appeal in what I offer on the show. More things that are sizeless. You know, have shows that are less Moschino and more of, you know, some other brand that I might have, and see how it goes. But I am very happy with my progress so far. The fact that I have sold in my shows, and that people are watching the shows. There's, you know, when I looked at the statistics on eBay, and just the millions of people that they reach, all around the world, all around the globe. It's staggering stats. You should look them up for yourselves. You just Google it. And the stats on their live selling is just extraordinary. And so the potential is ripe. And I just have to figure out what my angle will be for my brand. And that's what I'm doing. So I hope you will join me on eBay Live. You can go to my Instagram, Ms. Jennie Walker. There's a link to my eBay store where you can follow me, or you can follow the live and hit, it says, you know, you set a reminder button. You can also look me up on eBay. My account is called the Jennie Walker Archive. You can find me that way. You can always message me on Instagram if you want a direct link sent to you. I can do that. You can always go to my website and contact me there. If you'd like more information on eBay Live, you can join my email list where you will find out about live selling. So yeah, and that's what's up. So I highly recommend eBay Live. And as a seller and as a purchaser, because people got a lot of good deals from me. And definitely check it out. And that's it. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't. I am woefully behind. I have never gotten my 1,000 followers. And I've got to fix that. I'm going to fix that in 2026. I'm going to hit my 1,000 followers and monetize my channel. I've just been lazy, and it's just not a good look. So 2026. A lot of my milestones are happening already. I've finally moved fully from West Coast to New York City, where I'm here permanently, which feels good. And now we're developing this live selling. So I highly recommend it. So thank you for your time. My name is Jennie Walker, creative director and owner of the Jennie Walker Archive. And we are known for having the largest vintage Moschino collection in the United States. We sell, rent, and exhibit our rare vintage through online, now live selling, and pop-ups throughout the country. Thank you so much. Bye now.